James, before we begin, we usually like to ask people what they've been up to. And I don't think that we have yet discussed your MFA program that we founded, because the last time we talked was right after the release of your poetry collection, The Strangeness of the Good. I should mention James is a poet and a philosopher. Since we discussed your last volume of poems, you and our friend Joshua Wren, who I've also had on the Catholic Culture podcast, started an MFA program for fiction and poetry at the University of St. Thomas in Houston. So maybe you can just quickly fill people in on that news.
Yes, so it was an incredible event. Indeed, truly felt providential. I have to mention before I describe it that I had one of the decisive meetings about this MFA program immediately after I got off the podcast with you two on wild strawberries.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice.
It was truly, I clicked close, and then we had a meeting with people at the University of St. Thomas. At that time, it seemed a pipe dream. I didn't believe for a moment it was going to happen. Who needs another graduate program? And who wants to found one and take on the accompanying risks in this age of contraction and dissolution, especially in higher education, where contraction is going to be the continual story for the next 10 years at least. But quite incredibly, the University of St. Thomas said they wanted to support Joshua's and my efforts to continue to foster the great revival of Catholic letters that's been going on for these last 10 or so years. And so we were given carte blanche to design a program that would be the first of its kind, an authentically Catholic Master of Fine Arts program in creative writing. It does everything that good MFA programs do, including keeping the work of aspiring writers right at the center of our attentions through intensive workshops. But those workshops are complemented by a thoroughly integrated and coherent Catholic Great Books program that, or curriculum that will take everyone through from Virgil and Augustine to Dante and to Manzoni, whom we mentioned earlier, and on up through the great European Catholic revival and the Catholic imagination in modern American poetry. And all of that study in the history of literature will be complemented by seminars also in the philosophy of art and beauty. So everyone who comes to our program is going to gain serious mastery in craft and in writing works of spiritual and intellectual depth and breadth. And they're also going to go away with a true formation, a true initiation into a way of understanding the tradition of Catholic literature, or maybe I should say the Catholic literary tradition as it has shaped the broader literary tradition of the West. So we didn't expect, we hoped for great things. We didn't anticipate what actually happened, which was notes began pouring in from all manner of places where people were saying, I had wanted to do advanced study in creative writing and had despaired of finding a place where I could do it, and that where it seemed like it would be worth the time and the money to do it. And then they saw this program and they wanted to join us. And so happily, here we are, only just over halfway through our first year of existence. And not only are classes full, not only did a lot of people apply and many people enter the program, but our student body is marvelously distinguished. We have people who have authored and published 3 or 4 previous books, and they don't need an MFA for the purpose of figuring out how to be authors. They need an MFA because they want to be part of the great endeavor that we've undertaken. And then we have lots of young people who have not published yet, but who are just finding their way into the art and are just getting the kind of marvelous formation, I think, that that you really would hope that literary education would be about, but it so rarely is.